Hello, friend. So I want you to imagine that you're 18 years old and you're in a ballet troupe and you take a trip to Spain, you're on tour, and while there, you fall in love with a street dancer. Maybe he does flamenco in the street. I think that's popular in Spain. And I don't even know if that's a thing, but I'm sure that exists. So anyway, as a ballet dancer, you fall in love with this street performer, you leave your troupe, and you decide to travel Europe with him. Maybe he's a gypsy and you follow him and his gypsy family. I don't know. What does all of this have to do with astrology? Well, this is what I feel is the vibe of this upcoming Sagittarius full moon. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I did have a video, and for some reason, when I uploaded the video, it did not upload properly. The timing and speed was just horrible. And I was like, I don't have the energy to redo an actual video, so I'm just going to do an audio of basically what I was feeling, what I was picking up on for this Sagittarius full moon, this blue moon, since the second full moon of the month. And I feel like that's the vibe, that we are being asked to follow our passions or take our passions to a new level. So in this example, a ballet dancer, more formal, structured form of dance, goes off to do street dancing instead. So not totally off the path, still in the same world that you were in. And who knows what happens as a result of this. Maybe this dancer, maybe they stay with the street dancer for a year and then decide they get tired of having this nomad lifestyle and they decide they're going to go back to college and become a doctor. Who knows? Maybe it happens that way. Although many people probably say it would be the opposite, that it'd probably be someone who was going to medical school and they run off to follow somebody around Europe. But life is full of all kinds of surprises and adventures, and it can happen either way. My point is, I just want to give you an idea, a vibe, because I really do feel like this Sagittarius full moon, which is going to be technically Sunday, May 31st at 4:45 a.m. Eastern. It's at 9 degrees 55 minutes. But I think most people are really going to be feeling it Saturday before it actually peaks. And most full moons, we feel like 3 days leading up to it. So probably by Thursday, Friday, Saturday, most people will be feeling the full moon energy. We've also had Mars squaring Pluto all week, and it's going to be continuing to square during that full moon. And this Mars squaring Pluto, Mars, our ability to initiate, our sense of action, agency, often can be where we express our rage or anger, the shadow side of Mars. Pluto, transformation. Sometimes Pluto can be destructive, but normally if Pluto removes something from your life, it's because it's keeping you from being on your soul's path. So when you have Mars and Pluto in a square, which is a difficult aspect, it's highlighting where we're out of touch with our passion, where we're out of touch with our power. And it could also be highlighting where we're in touch with our power, where we're in flow with our passion. So if you've been on the right path, so to speak, if you've been following the call of your soul, this week may have actually been really good for you. Things may have gone to the next level. But if you have been a little bit off course, if you haven't been listening to the deep longing inside of you, it's probably highlighted for you how profoundly unhappy you are with certain things, certain people, certain relationships. And this full moon is going to highlight it even more, which is why it could trigger that desire to do something radically different, to veer off the chosen path, to do something different. And also it's just Sagittarius, fire sign, and Sagittarius is all about exploration, learning through experience. Travel is often a big part of the Sagittarius calling, but it's also the archer. So in effect, it could be showing us where we are not on the mark, where we are not following our call. And it's also interesting because during this full moon, Venus is going to be squaring Saturn. Venus is our feminine energy, and Venus also represents our ability to love, our relationship to money, our values. And when it's squaring Saturn, which is all about structures, boundaries, bringing things into form, um, this is going to highlight either where we're out of sync with love in our life, maybe in particular romantic relationships, or where we're not in harmony with our relationship with money or being well resourced. And Venus, I often think of as well the divine feminine, and Mars can also be the divine masculine. So when we have both our feminine and our masculine energy in challenging squares around a full moon, that says to me that this full moon is asking us, which is weakest for you right now? Is it your feminine energy? Where do you need to soften, for example? Or is it your masculine energy? Where do you need to be more rooted in your power? So these are the themes that can be coming up during this full moon weekend in particular. And because it's a fire sign, a full moon ritual that might be helpful as you sit with these questions, as answers come to you, as you realize what you want to release. Maybe you take some time to write down on a piece of paper what you no longer want to have in your life, what you want to release fully and completely, and then rip it up, throw it away, or maybe even safely burn it, like if you have a container to safely burn it in, and then you could throw the ashes out. Some people like to bury the ashes, or even if you just, maybe flush them down the toilet, whatever's the safest way for you to release it. You could also just do a voice memo where maybe you speak what you want to release, and then if you don't feel comfortable keeping the recording, you can always delete it. Maybe there's someone you need to forgive, or maybe there's someone that you would like their forgiveness. Maybe you write a letter to them, or maybe you write a letter from them to yourself, and then you could just rip that up or burn that. These are ideas to play with during this Sagittarius full moon. We also want to note that Uranus in Gemini is also squaring the nodes of fate. So Uranus is about, can be about revolution, breakthroughs, and Gemini is our ability, well, it governs our ability to process a lot of information, to think, process information. Uranus and Gemini is transforming how we communicate with ourselves, how we communicate with one another, and it's going to be squaring the nodes. So this could put us in a situation where we are being forced to speak our truth. You leave it just to ourselves, even if you're not ready to speak it out loud to someone else. And especially, like I said, when we have the backdrop of Mars squaring Pluto and Venus squaring Saturn. So I feel like all of that combined, it says that we're being asked to really speak and live into our truth, wherever we're not really living our authentic self, coming from our authentic truth. We also do have a couple of supportive aspects helping us out, which is nice. Uranus is going to be trining Pluto. So that could help you find new ways to express this truth, or express your power more fully, or to embody your own inner authority. And then we also have Uranus sextiling Neptune. Neptune representing our ability to vision, our spiritual journey, our ability to fantasize or see the bigger picture. And this could also lead to a breakthrough in the vision you have for yourself, for your life, for your relationships. So I really wanted to just at least come in here and give you this brief audio about this upcoming Sagittarius full moon. And I wonder if you're also feeling, in particular, the Mars squaring Pluto this week. Have you had challenges? Have you had things that irritated you, that made you angry? Have you witnessed other people being angry around you? That could be part of that energy. And if that's the case, be compassionate, be kind. This could be a week where people are triggered. Their wounds are up, so to speak. This full moon, as full moons always do, they intensify things. Full moons, especially in fire signs, can definitely make people more spicy. And, so, you may need to give people some space. But you may also be witnessing people coming into their own power, people really living who they want to be, really taking momentum and going forward with their projects. I'm in several containers, and I swear everybody had something this week. Like, it's been insane. Like, this was the first week where I couldn't participate live in a lot of things because everybody had something going on at the exact same time. And I do feel like that was that Mars squaring Pluto, that everybody felt like this was the week to get things out, to like push that offer, have that workshop, do that live, like have that Zoom meeting. Like, I've literally had like 4 things every day this week that I absolutely, positively wanted to participate in. And I couldn't. I had to really decide, like, what is my real priority today? What is the thing I'm going to get the most value from? And what are the other stuff that I can just do the replay later this week, maybe even next week? Like, I was like, what happened this week? Why is everybody doing everything every day this week? And I really do think that that was the Mars squaring Pluto energy, and that may carry over into this weekend as well. And maybe there's something you want to do. Maybe there's something you want to put on your calendar if you haven't done so already. Or maybe you've scheduled it already and you know it's happening this weekend. If it's in an alignment with who you are, if it's helping you become more authentic and more empowered, know that this full moon energy is going to support you, that it's going to give you that ignition, that sense of fire to keep it going. And we are in the year of the fire horse. And I feel like we're really feeling that energy in particular the last couple weeks of May and the first couple of weeks of June. We do have some astrology that's going to be interesting in July, I'll say, and I'll do an audio or video about that later on. But know that if you've been doing the thing, if you've been making steps towards what you want to actually have and experience in your life, in your world, this week you're probably beginning to see the fruits of your labor. Or maybe this weekend there'll be a breakthrough in how to take something to the next level. So in a lot of ways, overall, I do feel like this full moon is going to be really positive for people. And just be kind to yourself, be kind to those around you. And like I said, if you are surrounded by people who are maybe not necessarily in that same space, where they're not really following their truth, they're not really living their authentic self, even if they're not conscious that that's what's happening, they may be really prickly around you. So, you may need to give some people some space. And nothing wrong with that. Remember to practice nonviolent communication, speak from I statements, instead of you did this or you make me feel this way. Here's how I feel when XYZ happens, that sort of thing. This might be a weekend to practice some of those skills. But I really sincerely hope that you are on the side where this full moon is energizing you and moving you to really just continue to live from your true power, your heart, your passion, your love for life. And I think if you haven't been feeling a love for life, this full moon is going to help you see where you can begin to experience that. Or maybe if you have been feeling that, it's going to be even more intensified. There'll be a higher level of that joy and that zest for life. And, so maybe you'll be like that ballet dancer who I talked about at the beginning, who is feeling like the rush of being newly in love and going on this new romantic adventure. I certainly hope you have something joyful along those lines in your world and in your life. And with that, I think I'm going to let this go. Oh, I should probably mention some of the things I offer to people. Um, I do have my 30-minute witnessing you session, 1-to-1. I have a 90-minute you illuminated session. And where both of these sessions, I just basically help you experience more the truth of who you are. Or maybe if you need a little help connecting to your zest for life, I can help you with that. I also do want to remind you to share the video, like, and comment. That does help me get the message out to more people. I'll have my links in the description if I can remember. Sometimes I don't always do that with the audios. But since this is a full moon video, I'm going to at least try to remember to do that for you all. Excuse me, a full moon audio. And thank you all. Love you all so much. And always remember to honor the light within you.